Athabasca, Alaskan. Out here taking a ride on this road back in my hometown, looking for wild chicken, also known as grouse. There's a few different species. Data back. Get back. The birds, the grouse that I'm talking about is the wild chicken, so to speak. They don't fly. They don't fly much, or they don't fly far. They're you go on the ground. They do fly. They'll fly a distance and they'll take off in the air and fly a distance, and they'll land. And they'll fly a distance and then land. And then they do a lot of walking and stuff like that. But the willow grouse, they're faster moving, and their head really moves back and forth, and they can really get going pretty quick there. The ptarmigan, you find them more, you know, in the mountains also, but they turn color. They turn white in the winter. The spruce hen, they're mainly they're found in the spruce. They're found everywhere, but they're found also in the spruce, and mainly in the spruce, I should say. They eat berries. Those guys would eat cranberries and stuff like that. So the wild chicken of any sort, they're good eating. They're small game, really good eating for organic, you know, anything wild game is I ain't gonna say 100%, but almost guaranteed to be, unless it ain't in any kind of contamination, is gonna be, you know, 100% organic, meaning they're living off the land out there, wild plants, what have you. But I'm out on this road looking for wild chickens, so maybe we could have that for a meal, or, you know, tomorrow. I remember this road, you know, like I was saying earlier, you know, the challenges and life changes, and I remember going on this road, and it's just different, you know. There's not as many animals or wild game that there used to be, you know. There used to be rabbits, you know. You'd run into you know, a bunch of different, you know, spruce hens, ptarmigans, grouse, whatever, you know, you get. And of course you don't you take what you're going to use, and you don't overtake anything like that. There's just something we're taught when we're young. But you know, if you're hunting rabbits, if you're hunting grouse, or, you know, wild chicken, you use all the meat. And, you know, back along, you know, my culture, you know, trapping came around the area, and that was a way to make some money, you know. A lot of people lived off the land, but you need to make that paper also, you know, to buy things you need, because, you know, it's a tough, you know, they got that, some of those shows, that survival shows, and it just shows you in Alaska how tough the environment, how tough things were to live. And those guys, my hat goes off to those old timers, man. They, you know, I've even my dad, he's got some stories about my grandpa. He, you know, he passed, but tells me stories about, you know, going on, using dog team, and hunting and trapping. But you know what I was gonna say is, you know, not to get off the subject too much, but I'll pick up on that story. the birds, when they use the birds, they use, or the rabbit, they try to use everything that's, you know, that you could eat. Of course, you guys all know you eat the meat, but they use, like, if they're getting small game, if it's a rabbit, they'll use the fur for oh, there we go. There's a couple birds right there. Getting ready here to dispatch this animal, meaning prepare it, prep it for cook. And I'll save all this wing on a chicken. Usually they save that, use that, and they'll tie it from, and trappers will, don't do much trapping, but used to, I trapped it. There's a time where I did, you know, it's just part of life, what I grew up doing. But this predator is like when they're hunting, you know, like on a let's say on a bend on a lake, where it points out like this. The lake goes out, points. There's a point or a bend in the lake, or somewhere where you have a trap in the brush or little ways, whatever, on a trail that's like that. It's a trail, and you can have on the tree, you could have a wing that attracts an animal. You put the wing on the tree with the little string, so it's moving. It's moving. And moving things attract predators, feathers, marten, lynx, wolverine, what have you. Especially lynx. They're a curious animal, but that's what they do. I'll save this if anybody, one of my friends who would use it. A lot of people just throw it away. And then I was telling you about the spruce hen. This is willow grouse, but on the spruce hen, the tail fans out. This is a wing, but I'm just giving you an example. The tail will fan out like that, and it's really uniform and really nice looking. And people used to use that for like headdresses or just arts and crafts, native arts and crafts, whatever. They would use that kind of stuff. But anyways, get back to what I'm doing here. Taking some of these wings off the animal. You know, when we get an animal, it's a lot of, we're not out there just to, you know, we don't disrespect the animal. People say, okay, yeah, you're hunting or whatever, but I mean, apart from that, you know, chickens are harvest. This is harvest, but this meat is good for you. It's organic, and it's really good for you. So we You know, when there's an animal took in, there's an animal took in, it comes with high respect. The most respect, you know, that animal gives to, you know, it's a circle of life. This animal gives to feed your family, and you know, it's the utmost respect that you give animals, and not to make fun of the animal, not to play around with the food. That's some of our Athabascan beliefs. You use what you harvest, and you do it without. It's a serious time. You know, it's a fun time, but it's a serious time. It's, you know, you always have that respect that, okay, this I got this animal and we gotta take care of it, so you're not poking fun or anything like that. Okay, there's one quarter. See that? It's kind of like a whitish meat, not too red. The Sprucen's darker meat. Okay, I got had to charge the battery there, but I did get the chicken harvest all cut up, and I'm gonna rinse it off just a little bit, and I'm gonna throw it in a marinade. Yeah, they're good pieces of meat. Good. Some breasts and a couple thighs there, but I'll rinse them off. They're pretty clean animal. See, that's what I got there. I'll rinse it off, and I will marinate that with some steak and chop sauce. That stuff there. It's just 30 minutes, but I'll probably do it for about an hour, maybe an hour or two. I'll throw that in the Ziploc bag, put a little bit of that in there, and just let that marinate in the fridge for a little bit. Getting back to talking about how you know, wild game is good for you or whatever. Just I cut, you know what, in a digestive system of a chicken, there's what's called a gizzard, and I'm not sure how that really works, but there's a gizzard, and there's a way they that helps digest. But getting back to what was going on and what was said about how it's good for you, this is what is in the stomach of a clean animal. Like I said, I'll use the marinated sauce, threw it in the bag, rinsed it off, rinsed off pretty good. Yep, Bristol's sitting right here on the floor after her long run last night. I'll probably put some of that in the video, or I could save it for a different video. We'll see. We'll see how that one chops up. I like about good. So about a quarter of that just for the taste. And I'll end up frying it with maybe a little bit of butter. Bacon grease is one thing that a lot of people will keep just for the oil, the flavors. Put in a jar. It's good with meat. It's good to cook with. It's kind of what lard is. Lard is made from I think pork fat, but the bacon grease is, it's like you can cook with it and it's got a flavor. But I could use that or butter. Fry it in a little bit of butter, then I'll kind of boil that or boil some carrots. I got a salad, and then I'll mix in a little bit of butter just for a little bit of flavor, and garlic. I'll be putting garlic in both the cooks, the main protein and side. I love garlic. Yep. So that's that. I'll put it in the fridge. Let it marinate for about an hour or two. Let's see, it's 5. Maybe I'll have dinner at 7. Have a salad and carrots. Try to eat somewhat healthy. For the most part, I try to eat healthy, and I don't always do a good job. So this is what I was talking about. They're marinating it. This is what I'm talking about. Right here. You know, that might be, people might think one way or the other about it. That's bacon grease, but it's a good flavor, you know. It's an oil. It's just, you know, it's you cook bacon. People will save the bacon grease for cooking later, especially in camp where you can't go to the store and buy yourself oil. You cook bacon and you have something to cook with also. People will use it for different things other than cooking. It's got a good flavor to it. That's what I cooked this in. This year we cooked that in. But yeah, it's coming along good. Alaskan chicken, wild chicken, like a white meat. Let that cook really good. Get through really good. I like my meats that cook really good. Marinated it, put a little bit of Johnny seasoning salt on it. So fresh garlic to it. Alright, that is the end result. Tell me what you think. That is wild chicken, willow grouse in Alaska. Good harvest. Alrighty, so you've seen the harvest, you've seen the hunt, you've seen the preparation. It's kind of dark. I plucked the birds, but I try to video some of that, meat cutting, cooking, and I'm gonna cut this up and eat dinner. Thank you all for watching. Like, subscribe, share. Let me know if you like this content. It's like the first time I ever did anything like this, but thank you, and be safe out there and take care.